Good evening. Welcome to February's Fireside Chat. My name is Pastor Jim, here from First Lutheran Church in Beaver Dam. And today our guest is Catherine Taylor. Catherine is our church receptionist, and I wanted to introduce her to you. You may have already met her as you come to church and come to the office, and you have a need. Catherine is the person who will provide that service for you, whatever your need is. But so today we just want to introduce Catherine, but also have her tell you what her job responsibilities, what her tasks are, a little bit about herself, so you feel a little bit closer to her, and you know a little bit more about her. And so, Catherine, thank you for coming today, and welcome to the staff here at First Lutheran. Go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself, and what is it that you do here at First Lutheran?
A little bit about myself. I was born and raised in the Chicago area, although my family is up here in Wisconsin. And we moved up here about 24 years ago. And just before we moved up here, I got married. So I'm married to my husband, Don Taylor. And we have a son, 𝗪𝗂𝗪 who's 34, and he's down in Texas. And live on a family farm that's been in my family for over 100 years.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. So, when you come to work here at the church, what do you do?
So the first thing I do is, of course, get into the building. That's the most important thing. So the next thing I do is I check all our mailboxes and go through the mail and take care of the offerings, make sure those are put away safely in the safe. I also take care of the script bag. We have a small script bag that has some of the cards and things from our different vendors, and that's always out with me. So if someone needs script during the day, I'm here on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 8:30 till about 12:30. The little extra times to take care of those necessities before anybody comes at 9. And as I'm here, I check the phone messages, I answer phone calls, and I redirect phone calls where they need to go. If someone needs to come into the building to talk to the pastor or take care of things, I answer the door and let people in. Also taking care of anything at the window that needs to be taken care of if people have special requests or anything. And then just office care, taking care of the doors so that our meetings, people who come in for the meetings can actually come in the doors and not have to worry about it being locked and things.
Yeah.
So
it's a lot of stuff, isn't it?
It's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of new things for me to learn because it's not my congregation, so I have a lot of new people I'm going to be meeting, and I hope that everyone has a little forgiveness for me if I don't remember your names. I hope over time that I will get people's names more quickly and things. But it's just a pleasure to be able to work in a church setting. I've always enjoyed that when I have.
So why don't we invite 𝗪𝗲𝗍𝗆 to come, and she's been here at the church probably longer than any of us. I know that for a fact. And Heidi's been involved in so many areas of ministry that actually Heidi has a new role, Director of Congregational Life. And I'm going to ask Heidi to share a little bit about her role and how this new role came to be. And we have April Jordan here. She's behind the camera. And so we might refer to some of April's roles, but she won't be on the camera today, but we'll catch her in another fireside chat. But for right now, April just sent her little daughter, Olivia, to say hello. And let us hear from Heidi, what her role is and how her role came to be.
I am still around. I am just shifting kind of the things that we do. As an office staff, we talked about our strengths and what each person does and kind of correlate it so it made sense. And so for April, she took on the e-announcements and the Focus newsletter, as well as the worship schedule, or the Ministry Scheduler Pro, so coordinating things with worship, because her main things are communication and worship. So that's one thing. Well, she took on that role, and she did get more hours for that, so that adjusted that way. And just like Catherine said, she took on the door schedule, which is something that wasn't typically the receptionist role, because it made sense, because she's working with the calendar and that kind of stuff. And so for myself, as we were talking through these, we were thinking about things that hadn't been around, like more new member connection or volunteer coordinating, small group ministries, things like that. And so what was left over from the admin position that was previously, there was a few more things. So I suggested and was willing to take on working with committees and groups, getting their minutes from their meetings, putting together council packets, doing the annual report. So more of the paperwork side of the office, but again, we're working as a team through that. And so those are kind of the things that were added. And it's not to say that I won't be around and I won't be a part of like the youth and family things, because I do plan to still be around, but looking for a youth director will help us focus on the middle school and high school ministries that we need. And so I still plan to help with like Sunday school ministry. One of my goals is to reach out to individuals and parents and empower them to step up and help where they can. So I'm looking forward to doing a time and talent, and really connecting with the whole congregation to help make First Lutheran feel like a place that you would like to be.
So I just want to step back a little bit. It made sense for April to take on the role of e-announcements and the Focus, because she's already putting those announcements up on the screen and for worship. She's already dealing with information and how to present information either on the sign at the road or on Facebook or on her website. So all this information comes into her brain and into her mind, so she's just kind of being a consistent person getting all that information out. So it made perfect sense for her to take on that role. And with Heidi, it made sense for her in that role because, well, one is I'm the only pastor, and I've always looked to Heidi for information or kind of support or consistency and information throughout the church. And only because she's been here the longest, and she's kind of been spread pretty thin across the congregation when it comes to communication or connecting with families and children. And so I rely on Heidi as being that support person. So congregational life made sense to kind of help me provide pastoral care to the congregation. But I really can't do all of the communication. I can't be at all the meetings, and I can't know everything, but it certainly helps. And hiring a part-time youth director will help to give the young people a person who's not tied up in paper shuffling or writing articles, that can really devote their time and give that time to young people. So that kind of creates an opportunity for a person to work just with young people, middle school and high school kids, and not be bogged down with a larger congregational sort of work.
And we want to extend, if anybody has any questions about any of this information, please reach out to us or reach out to a council member or personnel, and we will get those names out there for you, because we're here for you.
So we're at a good place. Very happy. The way things have really kind of aligned themselves, and thank you for your support. And I want to thank Catherine for being with us today. I want to thank Heidi for being with us today. I want to thank April for all her work and being with us and making all this video, these video chats happen. And I want to thank Olivia for being here and being so patient as her mom is working and making ministry happen here at First Lutheran. So God's blessings to you. Now the next Fireside Chats will be focused more on Ash Wednesday and Lent. So I invite you to journey with us through the season of Lent. The topic is mending, and we really look at John, the Gospel of John. He's a fisherman, and Jesus calls him to follow him. And when Jesus met John, he was mending a net because he's a fisherman. Little did John know that he would be one of the first apostles mending the church, mending the net. We're the net. We, the people, are the net. And that John would no longer be catching fish, but he would be catching people. We're the net, and our job is to catch people, to invite them into the body of Christ, the church. So Lent should be an exciting time for us as we learn about the ministry of John's mending and the church, and how we need to be equipped to be the body of Christ, to be fashioned, to be shaped, and to be restored. So I invite you to join us as we journey through Lent, leading up to the death and resurrection of Jesus. Take care. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.